Is Apple overpriced? I say no, and here's why. Apple products are considered overpriced because they don't have the same price range as their competitors, and they do take a bit more profit. For instance, you can get many laptops in the $4,500 price range from all major manufacturers. Apple even beats them in a few specs. And certainly in performance. But Apple simply doesn't offer laptops in the $320 price range, say like Dell does. Don't get this in the car industry. You can get a Nissan for starting at $2,100 all the way up to $140,000. BMW starts at nearly $60,000. They just don't make cars in the $20,000 price range. But nobody's sitting in their Kia Forte laughing at BMW drivers for buying overpriced pieces of shit, are they? It's accepted in the car industry that you do end up paying for higher performance and higher quality. Indeed, every industry has its range of prices and qualities. I bought a $30 Starfrit blender. It's great, but I know it's nothing compared to a $250 KitchenAid. But in the computer industry, and an Apple user, you're just an idiot sheep for spending any more than the cheapest possible price. Like every industry out there, the computer supply chain is full of different entities offering different products at various different qualities for a wide range of prices. These hyper-cheap PCs are built using the lowest cost, lowest quality, lowest performing parts possible. Dell is selling a brand new $319 laptop that performs worse than a 12-year-old MacBook Air. I'm sorry, that's just not acceptable at all. The same goes for Android versus iPhone. You can get super cheap Android phones out there, but the parts are bottom shelf. One thing consumers need to get through their heads these days: specs just don't equate real-world performance anymore. You can have an Android phone with a great screen according to the specs, but then lose in actual tests compared to an iPhone or higher-end Androids. Cameras. Why did the Samsung Galaxy S22 with a 105 megapixel sensor lose so badly to an iPhone of the same year with a 12 megapixel sensor? And same with computers. You can get a 16 gigabyte RAM, 512 gigabyte solid state drive from a Dell for a couple few hundred less than a similarly spec'd MacBook Air. Yeah, when it comes to performance, I think it's worth that $250 extra. So are Apple iPhones and Mac computers overpriced? No. But let's take it further. Apple does indeed make a lot more profit than their competitors. In fact, they took 85% of the operating profit and 48% of the revenue last year. As a thought experiment, let's ignore part quality and subscribe to the argument that an Android phone should cost no more than an iPhone to actually produce. And let's say our theoretical iPhone and Android both cost $300 to manufacture. The Android sells for $400, the iPhone for $500. But as you know, every business has costs, and those come out of profit and can be calculated per device sold. Say each company has a similar set of operating expenses. $30 to wages and benefits, $25 to building leases and maintenance, $20 to accounting and legal, and say $20 to insurance. So, $95 in operating expenses per device. Ooh, Apple's making $105 in profit compared to $5, those bastards. Or are they? They have $105 to play with. What else could they do with that? How about giving their customers free storage in the cloud? How about premium warranty services? Multiple locations where you can actually take your product. How about money to invest in software support? Say, a free update every year for like 7 years. How about investment in research and development so they can continue offering cool products in the future? Well, in this simulation, Apple has the profit and the margin to do that. The Android does not. But this is true of the real world. It has very real consequences. Those cheap Android phones never get updated. And good luck finding parts. Even with a premium provider like Samsung, there are 7 locations in Canada compared to Apple's 28. Before all of you leap down my throat, I'm not claiming Apple is perfect. They've made some boneheaded mistakes and some pretty questionable design choices over the years. So is every premium manufacturer. Ever heard of the Samsung battery issue? And that design flaw was actually because they were rushing the product to market to beat Apple. Some Audis and BMWs have their oil filters in ridiculous locations. So premium doesn't mean perfect. So though Apple makes stupid amounts of money and high profit margins per product, it allows us Apple users to get more value in that product. I don't agree Apple products are overpriced, but to consumers' detriment, Android and PC products can be severely underpriced. The Fufu agrees.